enjoying the fruits of your labor as well, right? It's like you've planted the seeds, you've watered the plants, you've given them the sunshine that they need in order to grow. Um, but you need to stop for a moment and go, look what I did. Look what I'm doing. This is great. Like, just stop there and smell the roses. Well, hello there, lionesses. I am Lisa Fox, and today I want to talk to you about taking mental health days. Now, you might be looking at me going, oh my goodness, she looks so refreshed. Why does she look so fresh and lively and energized looking? And that is because I actually took a mental health day myself yesterday. And I needed it. And I will say this is a relatively new commitment that I made to myself, that I would actually start taking care of myself in that way when I needed it, outside of actual planned holidays. Hiya, hello. Yeah, outside of planned holidays, sometimes you just need a day, or even a half a day, where you just go, no, I've just had enough. I'm saturated. I'm feeling really tired, exhausted, and I just need to take care of myself. And for me, I think the reason that I didn't do it in the past was because I wasn't listening to myself. I wasn't tuning into what I actually needed. I wasn't, do you know what the big thing was? That I didn't really feel like I had permission. I didn't really feel like I was allowed to just pause when I had a lot on, when I was, responsible for so many things and for holding space for so many people. And but the more I realize, the more responsible I am, and the more space I do have to hold for other people, the more I have realized that it is so, so important for me to just take that time out, those moments when I need to just go, no, I got to switch off. It makes me better able to serve the people. That to serve the people that I'm doing this work to serve. So I just reading in the comments here, Amanda says, I feel I can't because I'm not doing enough. Yeah, that's exactly it. And actually, what's most likely, Amanda, is that you're probably doing too much, right? And you've got a really, really long to-do list that you could never, ever possibly get to the end of. And therefore, you're setting yourself up for that feeling of, I'm not doing enough because I haven't got everything ticked off the to-do list. So what actually is a mental health day? Like, what is it? For me, a mental health day is just, as I said, like a day when I just take the day off, or most of the day off, on a whim. And it's not like, when I say whim, I don't mean like it's like I just do this every other week. I just take a mental health day. I mean, that's absolutely fine if that's what you need for yourself. But if you're finding that you need a mental health day every other week, then you need to just build that into your business and build that into the way that you work, that you actually do block off a day every other week. For me personally, I don't tend to need that. And for me personally, I'm a bit like Amanda, like where I've got all the things to do. I'm like, oh God, no, I'm so used to over giving, and I'm so used to like having a really long to-do list that I absolutely must get through, that I end up going, no, there is no time for a mental health day. But that's exactly when that mental health day is needed more than ever. So it's just that day where you go, I'm literally going to like switch off from my business for a small chunk of time. I'm just going to go shopping, which is what I did yesterday. I'll tell you more about that later. But, or I'm just going to lie in the bath and meditate. I'm just going to go and have a massage. I'm just going to go and sit in a cafe for a couple of hours and read my book. Even though there are lots of things on the to-do list, even though, I've got all these other responsibilities waiting for me. What I do is I look at when I'm feeling that need to have a mental health day, just have a little look at my calendar and go, what day could I take that day? And for me, like this week, I took my mental health day yesterday, but I did actually have a client booked in the afternoon. I had a call in the morning that I had to do. So I was like, okay, I'll do a call in the morning. I contacted the client who had booked in for that afternoon. I said, would you be okay to reschedule your appointment with me because I need a mental health day? And I was just completely upfront about it. I didn't tell her any lies or make an excuse. And I said, if that's really not possible for you, and if this is the only time in the day that suits you, then absolutely we'll keep your appointment. But I just wanted to check. And she was totally fine with it. She was like, absolutely. And she's like, I really believe in mental health days. And thank you for asking me that, because you've reminded me that I need a mental health day as well. So even me doing that was good role modeling, which I hadn't seen it in that way, but it turned out to be that way. And it was me by me doing that for myself. I also was in turn giving her permission to do that for herself. And we need that sometimes. We need reminding. So how do you know you need a mental health day? If you're watching, type it into the chat box. How do you feel? What is it? What is it to you that signals to you that you need a mental health day? For me, it's when I've got like my to-do list. I've got let's just have a look here. When it's looking a bit like, all the things, and I've got so many things going to, and I'm not taking things off, and I'm not, I'm kind of starting to feel overwhelmed with everything. And it's that feeling of, I have to keep going, but I'm exhausted, right? That's exactly when you need one. When you can't imagine taking a break, when you know that your next holiday is in 3 months' time. So it's far, far away, and you don't have a day off, but you can't imagine actually taking a break because you have so much stuff to do. But you're also really tired, and you're also getting a bit fed up, and you're also, a little bit of the joy is kind of going out of your work because of that exhaustion, and you're starting to get fed up, and you're starting to kind of resent your clients maybe. So somebody said, I start to feel overwhelmed, like I have too much to do and things keep adding up and nothing is getting checked off. Exactly. My mood starts being affected. I'm overworked too. And that's exactly, and you think like your brain is telling you, well, this obviously, logically, this is the worst time for me to take a break because I have so much to do. But actually, when you do take that break and give yourself what you actually need, when you come back to your work, then you're so much more productive and you get so much more done in a much shorter period of time than you would have if you didn't take the break, right? So really lovely. And why do you need to take that mental health break? Like, what it's like, if that's when you need to take it, why is it that you need to take it? And it's not just so that, when you come back to your clients or come back to whatever work that it is that you're doing, that you're doing a better job for them. But it's also it's partly that, of course, but it's also so that you can enjoy your work a bit more. It's also so that you can actually just breathe and know, and it's that reminder that when you do take that day or that half day or whatever chunk of time you've given yourself, that that you realize when you come back to your work that nothing, like the sky did not fall down. Things did not fall apart just because you took a break. That's part of the reason why you need to do it, just to remind yourself that it's okay to do it, and that nothing bad happens when you take a break. And lots of good things happen when you take a break. And sometimes things just fall into place when you take a break. And also for me, the big reason is that when I take a break, or when I'm having that bath, or when I'm driving in the car, or when I'm out shopping, I get the best inspiration and ideas that I ever get in my business when I'm actually taking that time out. In a weird way, my brain suddenly, with that space and time, my brain becomes more beautifully productive, more just elevated in that space. And it suddenly has space and time to think in a more elevated way, and comes up with much better ideas than it comes up with when I'm sitting there going, I have to do this and tick, 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 and like trying to overgive and please everybody and do all these things. I'm not sure who it is. Your name isn't coming up, but I love what you've written. I call it my smelling the roses day. That's beautiful. That's exactly what it is. Smelling the roses day. It's enjoying the fruits of your labor as well, right? It's like you've planted the seeds, you've watered the plants, you've given them the sunshine that they need in order to grow. But you need to stop for a moment and go, look what I did, look what I'm doing, this is great. Like, just stop there and smell the roses. And that's really kind of exactly how I felt yesterday. I was smelling the roses. Beautiful. Thanks so much. Sarah said, I get so caught up in stuff that I have to make space for downtime. Yeah, we have to make that space. I have a spa, which is wonderful at the moment, just warm and beautiful under the stars. Oh, gorgeous, perfect place to take that mental health moment. Okay. So why we take mental health days is because they actually give us energy, and they remind us that the world does not fall down around us, and they also give us that opportunity to smell the roses that we've nurtured and planted and watched grow. Just smell. And so for me, yesterday I took my mental health day, and what I did was I went to town. I went into town. So I live in Skerries in North County Dublin. And because I have 2 kids at home, I very, very rarely get into the city, but I love the city. I love the city. I love the city as much as I love the countryside, and I love the city as much as I love the seaside, and where I live is by the sea. But I get a very different energy from going into the city, very Carrie Bradshaw. So for me, like, I've been working on this business for the last 7 months, and I've had enormous success through that work, and through stepping into this confidence that I've built, and stepping into like the alignment with what I actually want for myself, and through what I'm teaching other people. I'm having enormous success with it. And by success, I mean that I'm making a lot. Apart from the impact, I'm making a lot of impact. And that is number one, my absolute priority, and what gives me joy the most. But the second priority, and what gives me the second amount of joy and pleasure, is the money that I'm making from my business. And I decided I wanted to make that money in order to have more freedom, a better quality of life, a better lifestyle, and also, of course, provide a better lifestyle for my family, and freedom and all that kind of good stuff. But I really struggle sometimes, even though I'm doing this because I want to have that lifestyle change and more wealth and more of the good stuff in life and more luxury. I struggle to give myself that luxury even when I am making the money that I can I actually buy that luxury with. So I had, like, for me, like yesterday, taking that mental health day was getting out into the city and actually spending some of that money. And I won't even say hard-earned money, but that well-earned money, right? Spending some of that money on the luxury that I had, that it was my ambition to get there for so long. And I really see this as like, I have to show the universe that this is what I want, this is what I'm willing to receive, and I'm going to use, the success and what I've actually manifested to give myself the things that I said I wanted with that money. So the universe knows I want more of this. Yes, I am in integrity with this. Yes, like I deserve this. I'm allowed it. I'm worthy of receiving the things that I said I wanted, which you have given me. I am worthy of receiving it. So I bought myself some nice things. I bought myself these beautiful earrings. Yes. I bought myself other earrings too. I bought myself a couple of new outfits. And number one, the big thing that I bought myself was a Gucci belt. And you know what? The Gucci belt was more, I've always wondered, like, am I like a designer gal? Do I enjoy wearing designer stuff? And I used to say, thank you for saying that about my earrings. I used to say, oh, I don't need designer stuff. Oh, don't care about that stuff. Don't really. And I used to say I don't care about money, which was the biggest lie I ever told in my life. It's not that I didn't care about money. It's that I didn't believe that I had the ability to make the kind of money that I wanted to make. And so I was sort of saying, don't really care about it in order to protect myself. Where now I've stepped into that. I do care about money. I do deserve money. I do want to have money. I do want that comfort, that luxury. And so, like, now that I've got the money, I'm like, do I want to spend it on those designer things? Do I actually want designer things or not? Do I enjoy designer things? And what I found so far with my belt, actually, I'm wearing it. My Gucci belt. What I've discovered is, yes, I really like it. Yes, I loved the experience of actually going in and buying it. And that felt really first class to me, to walk up to the counter. And I think, like, I really, really savored that moment, of going up to the counter and saying, I want to buy a belt. What do you got? And really, like, having that attention, and like the guy showing me all the different things, and trying them on, and then watching him package it up for me. And just the packaging alone was so extravagant and beautiful. I thought I had it there beside me. I must put it in the room. And then, leaving the shop and, and putting it on and going, I kind of like this. It looks really well. It feels really good on. It really ties a lot of my key outfits, which are made up of lots of cheap clothes. Some nice pieces, but lots of cheap clothes. I've tried it on with a few different outfits, and I'm like, it really adds an element of sophistication. And I do want to look sophisticated, even though I maybe told myself before that I didn't want to look sophisticated. I do. So giving myself that was really a huge part of my mental health day. And another huge part of my mental health day was I met a friend who I've, because I've got the kids at home and trying to run this business, and I sometimes can not forget about my friends, but like not prioritize, like, really nurturing those deep connections. So I've really, like, recommitted to like fostering those connections with my friends. So one of my absolute dearest and best friends in the whole world, agreed to meet me yesterday, and we had a glass of champagne together and had something to eat and just talked and talked and talked each other's ears off. And it was absolutely glorious. And it was everything that I needed yesterday. Everything that I needed yesterday. And I'm still humming from it. I'm still buzzing from it. And I will. That will sustain me. That will sustain me. And I won't need another mental health day, I don't think, for, maybe another month. But I am committing myself now to actually scheduling them in. Not waiting till I burn out and then do it. Actually allowing myself to have them before I need them, well before I need them. As soon as I start feeling those little oh God, things are starting to feel hard. Oh, have I got time for this? Blah, blah, blah. That's exactly when I'm going to go, okay, open up the schedule and see when can I do this for myself? What can I move around in this full calendar to actually just make a little bit of space for myself? And I want you to really think about doing that for yourself too, no matter what stage you're at in business or life. No matter whether everything just seems, especially if everything seems too full for you to actually, and too busy for you to actually give that to yourself. That's the most important time to do it. And whether it be, maybe you need to ease yourself into it. Maybe you just need to take a couple of hours, 3 hours, and go off by yourself for a little while, or arrange to meet a friend, or do something that's just for you, that nourishes you, or do nothing. Ask yourself, what do I need? What would be lovely? What would be the loveliest thing I could do right now? And then just go do that for yourself. My lovelies, thank you for joining me. I will see you soon again. Take mental health care of yourself. Do what you need to do for yourself. And remember, as always, confidence plus faith equals success. See you soon.